Dario, have you been able to download it?
Yeah, it requires me to download another software, which I don't have, so I need to download it. But I think I can figure out that type of thing. Yeah.
Okay, and that other software is the Zulu Open thing.
I don't remember the name.
Yeah, I remember that name.
Okay. Yeah, I've just got this page open that I still haven't really explored fully. So
But somebody had it working, right?
Christine does. She has a Mac.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we can ask her to do it anyway. We can show with her this video after. So.
Oops. Okay, so the first thing I do, I'm recording it now too, so I'll send it to you afterwards. But the first thing, the easiest way to do it is to just export what's in the database right now, so you can get a CSV that's set up for what you're about to upload. So we'll do this as issuer. Select a location first. Desktop. And then this is our issuer extract. I'll just select, this is where it's a little tricky. Some of these, like owner ID, you don't need. A lot of these fields are like auto-generated, created date, created by, last modified. And then if it was imported, those are all custom fields, so we can leave them. So ID, name, sector. We probably need some, there might be more fields that we want to add to this. But I'll start with this. See, finish. And then that gives us the CSV. So it's in CSV format. When you click that, that'll open in Excel. So what I do is just move it over to Google Drive because just haven't needed it.
It's automatically formatted, right?
Yeah, when you open it, it'll be in Excel. So then what I've been doing, I'll put it in, let's see, we have a shared folder with you guys. So I'll just move it in here and then we can edit it. Okay. So I can basically just delete all the data out and start new. So this is all the stuff that's already in the database. So we'll just do sample 1. Some of this stuff you'll have to, like if it's a pick list, it needs to match the values and all that. Test. This is not using the import tool from the main page. That's only for positions. So that would be blank. All three of those fields will be blank. So you can really just delete them. You only need the fields that you want to import. And then ID is auto-generated. So there's our 4 fields that we want for issuer. And sector, let's just see what an example is so we can test it.
Financials. Financials is an example.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, is it? Okay. I'll log in too so we can see this. Financials, plural, like that.
Or energy also.
Okay. Is it a pick list here? It's open text, so it really doesn't matter. So we probably need to make that a pick list or something for the, I think it might be a pick list on the front end, but we haven't turned it into one here. Okay, so let's do a couple of them, because the harder part is really just after you've created it, there's like this, you know, the mapping, doing some VLOOKUPs after this. So I always download as a CSV, which you'll probably have to do this in Excel too, because you can't upload an Excel file. You need it as a CSV when you do it. So download as a CSV, and then we go back to data loader. We want to do an insert. Search for the object, T100 issuer. And I need to move this to my desktop. It's a lot easier when you have Excel. You don't have to move things around like I've been doing. But so that file I just created was this one.
Yeah.
So next, it gives you the
Oh, that's nice.
preview. You have 3 records you're going to create or edit the map, and then you hit auto match fields. If something doesn't match up, you know that your column headers are off. So I know we're good. Contact email, they all matched up to the real field names. So your column headers are here from this CSV. That's actual API names, so they need to match. You don't need to save that mapping. You just hit OK. Next, where do you want to save like your success or error files, and finish? So there's 3 successful. And then, so we have issuers. So that's the easier to, when it's the top level object and you're just importing issuers. Like you don't have to do any lookups or all of that kind of stuff. So now the trickier part is updating and adding securities for all of those that existed, because we got to go retrieve that ID. So then you just export it again. So because we need the ID of those new ones. I'll just,
You have to do a VLOOKUp to
exactly
match the security to the ID. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm going to overwrite the first one we did, try to keep it clean. So now I want the ID. Really, I only need ID and name. I just want those are my 2 fields I need for the VLOOKUP. So we'll finish. This grabs all of them. You might be able to limit that down, but so then we want to go back to drive, duplicate file. I think it updates automatically. Yeah. Okay, so there's our VLOOKUP table that we'll use for the securities. Those are the 3 that we need. Really, yeah, you could use the whole table. So now we want to get the example of the security table, so we can create some of those. Security. Next, just select all. It's not, I mean, it's a little bit painful, but once you guys do it a couple times, I don't think it's too bad.
But also, I understand that we don't need necessarily to unselect them here, even though
You
we
could just-
extract them all and then we see, something that's alphanumerical. We don't need it to just
Yeah.
delete the column in the spreadsheet.
Exactly. So we can just finish, and actually, if you want to do this, you can throw a limit 1. You don't need all the data, we just need the headers.
Mm.
And the same process. Oops. So yeah, then like you said, you can go through. We don't need the ID of the security because we're creating a new one. Created date. So all of these, currency all the way to last reference. And the rest of these I think are custom fields. Import. I think those are all good. So example security 1. I guess really when you guys are doing this, if you guys are doing big, like if you have a list of securities that you know are all under one issuer, like if you're doing it one at a time, it's a lot easier because you don't have to do the VLOOKUP. You can just go copy. Like I know I'm going to use example 1 as the issuer right now. And then I can find there's issuer and I can just overwrite that field. But if you're doing it in bulk, like if you have, thousands of them that you're trying to upload, then you'd want to build your VLOOKUP table for that column. And I think that's the only lookup. Rest of these are pick list. The created by contact, it doesn't have to be set. If you want to hard code your own contact ID there, you can. That I don't know what.
Yeah.
There's no logic in the app right now that looks at that. We just store it. So if it's blank, then maybe we just assume that it came from, internal. But yeah, that would be it. I don't know exactly how to fill out all these fields. Impact theme, they're pick list values, so I might mess them all up, but then it's the same flow here. So you could have a whole bunch, you fill out all the data and export as CSV and then insert those records.
Okay.
And it's kind of like that waterfall effect as you go down the list on related objects. So we just did example 1. If there is a security, that's what we would be uploading. And then from a security, there's performance data. So if you'd have to, pull that data out and do another VLOOKUP there.
And in that case, like you want to upload like security performance, like the ID this time should be the ID of the security. We don't need to go back to the ID of the issuer, right?
No, you wouldn't need the issuer anymore. It's just the security. Yeah. So the only lookup on, let me go to a security. So this has a position. I see. Well, I guess performance looks up to the position. So would you guys be uploading performance data? Is that specific to a position?
For now.
So
We might, not for now. I mean, there might be performance data for the security, but we can download them next year. I think it will be another iteration, because when we ask per unit value and somebody says yes, it's per unit value, at that point we might make them, performance of the security as opposed to the position. However,
Okay.
it's something we haven't. We're not planning. We're not scoping this year, so I think we will not.
Okay.
No.
And it's already going. When we save it, it's tied to both the security and the position. So if it is, per unit, we could build some stuff later to make that public. But yeah. So those are the two main ones: issuers and securities. Is that kind of the main two spots that you guys will be doing most of the work?
Yeah, this is what we mostly upload because then users can create their own positions, but at least they see a pre-upload of all the issuers, or most of the issuers and most of the securities.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, we might upload some specific portfolios, but then at that point we will use the template that you showed us.
Yep.
I mean, we'll use like the portfolio import.
Yeah, for positions and all that. Yeah, that works better there. What else was there? Oh, one other thing too on the issuer. So I've been creating accounts so it's a one-to-one relationship for, like, Microsoft has to have an issuer. So if it's we need the Microsoft enterprise contact. So that's like, I just put an example in here as Microsoft Manager. So they would need to be under an account that's Microsoft. And then the account has to be tied to the issuer. That's what gives them access to that metric data entry page. So you might have to, do you have a lot of these accounts set up for enterprises?
No.
No, I think so.
So that might be something. Are there contacts already in the database for?
No.
Okay.
No.
So there's probably a similar flow there. Like as you add, a bunch of issuers, we'd need accounts that match them, like this one. And these
So
are
that won't get set up if we add the contact information in there.
No. So what I've been doing is just creating these manually. You'd have to. Maybe we could build it. We could build something that creates the accounts for you. We could loop through any issuers that aren't tied to an account and create one, tie them together, and that would be pretty easy.
Okay.
So is this for the contact information of the entrepreneurs and fund managers? Is this the reason why we have an account for them?
We could put them, so we have to have a way of tying the contact to their issuer. And I figured it would be at the account level instead of the contact. We could, so there's two ways. This way that it's built out right now is one account per issuer. But if we wanted to, we could make it so we could call it like enterprise accounts or something as the account name and put all of those enterprise contacts. So you'd see Microsoft, Apple, Tesla. They would just be a big list. And then you could put a lookup to the issuer from here, from the contacts.
Yeah, I think when I asked from John, he said maybe there's this thing like to have a unique placeholder account where all the accounts of all the enterprises or funds are stored, like all the issuers are stored. So we don't take too much space in Salesforce with thousands of accounts that that are not part of our pipeline. I mean, they're part of the issuers, but I think that's maybe creating a single placeholder account, and we store all the contacts there. It's fine as long as we have a way to reconcile them with the right issuer.
Yep. Okay. So we'll just move the field down to the contact, and then we have Toniic internal. So this would be all of your contacts. There's Toniic general. So I've been just putting contacts in here for us to test with, but we'll just create a Toniic enterprise.
You can call it like Toniic issuers and
Okay.
or T100 issuers maybe.
Yep. Funder, do you know what they would be? General contact?
Yeah, all those are customized for our members. So I think general contact is maybe the best. I don't know. I guess that's the one that doesn't have any customized fields. So
Okay.
maybe
Cool.
when it says membership status, you wanna. Actually, maybe that's it's blank. So I don't want it to show up in the membership reports, but we can fix this later. I can find out and get it out of the membership status. Okay, perfect. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I think that should be good then. I'll keep that simple on our side. So then really the data
like if we store hundreds of contacts here, like in this account, how do we reconcile them with the right issuer?
So they'll have the field will move. Right now this issuer field's at the account level. I'll move this to the contact. So then the contact will have a lookup to the issuer.
Oh, I see now. Okay, perfect.
So we can put that down here next to the portal fields. I think that's good. What else on the data loader side of things? Does that look, I mean, I guess for those two objects, it's not too bad, right?
Yeah.
No, I think it's manageable.
Okay.
It's better than clicking through the whole time. So once I start going through it, I might have more questions, but like actually uploading them. But
yep. And then one other thing
maybe
you can
if some errors come up when we have the upload, maybe we can recontact you. But I think this is good overview to begin with.
Yeah.
And I'll send you those two downloads right now, so you can have exactly what fields you need to fill out without having to get. So you can start on that. The other thing too, you know how I exported the example 1, 2, and 3 after I created them. If you're only doing, like, you can really just go look at it and pull this ID right off the URL.
Is that how you were swapping between things in between Salesforce and the application? I noticed you doing that yesterday.
Yeah, I was probably doing, yes, because if I'm on like a portfolio and it's like some of our apps are more like internal type stuff and we'll have a button that goes straight to Salesforce, but really what I've been doing just to find it is it's in the URL. So we use that Salesforce ID, and if I want to go find it in Salesforce, I copy it. If you just paste it in there, it takes you right to it.
Cool. Okay.
So yeah, if you're creating some issuers and then you're creating, maybe you're doing one table at a time. So if I do example 1 and then I'm going to do example 1 securities, it makes it easy because you can just go straight to your, just go find it, the new one that we created, and just copy that ID and put that into your security table. Right there. And you'll see it's actually a different, there's like a 15 character and an 18. It doesn't matter which one you put in there. So you can copy it straight from the URL and paste it. Cool. Yeah, and let me know if you get stuck, but let me send you a link to this folder.
And we can save them as templates, right? Like we can save the security import CSV and issuer import CSV, like all the just the fields we need as a template, and then we can just upload it, without exporting it every time, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, maybe just keep this one, keep one clean one, and you can reuse it. If fields change, you make some tweaks here and there, but yeah, that'd be easiest.
Yeah.
Okay, I think you should be able to download those now. I'll delete this one. This is going to be our VLOOKUP.
Yeah.
So we have, and if there's fields that we want to add to when you're doing this, just let me know. We can, if there's more fields we need on the issue or security, we can do that easily.
Good.
Cool. I will send you this video too, and I think that's it. Anything else you guys had for today?
No, I will send the list of security types, like the drop down later, but if you can already make the changes, that's great. I know with moving the field, renaming them, and making the concatenation, that would be great.
Okay. And if it's a restricted pick list, it'll break on you if you're trying to do that. Instrument, what is it? The financial instrument?
Yeah, currently it's
there it is.
called investment instrument.
We have financial and investment instrument. It might be duplicate, but so one other thing, I don't know if you've ever seen, if you want to make changes on the fly, there's that little sidebar button. So so I'm on the security. You can click view fields, and then this is just all the field metadata. So
yeah,
you can click on that and see the values in here. You can add a new one.
Oh, nice. Okay, perfect. So that's also something that I can do myself if I want to.
Yeah, that was kind of it's a bigger task, but if you wanted to at some point go through every one of these fields, I mean, you can kind of see what the validation rules are. Like impact theme is a text field max of 255 characters. You wanted to change that, maybe you're trying to keep it shorter or, whatever. Pick list values are kind of the main thing you'll be messing with. But yeah, you can go straight into the pick list and see the values. You can actually see, so it looks like this means we're uploading invalid pick list values when they're inactive like this. Other little stuff that you'll see on here, required field. You can set a default value if nothing's selected. You can kind of go crazy with it if you wanted to, but at least the pick list values are here.
Perfect.
Which is easier for us if you were able to do it and you just tell me that the financial instrument pick list values changed. We'll just come in here and copy them straight into the app. That's the easiest way, but either way, if you want to send them to us, we can do it too.
Sounds great. Yes, I might try to do it myself, like in the view, the view fields that you just showed me, and then let you know. So actually, if you go back to view fields for a moment, and you pick, I mean, it wasn't this. It was like a financial instrument, which is the up
right here. Yep.
Yeah. So there is like one column is called values, another one API name.
Yeah.
And what's the difference between the two? Like, should I, if I add it or add a new one, should I?
When you add a new, it's just you don't get to put in the API name. So if I add a new one, it's just separate by a line break. So if I save those, it'll be 2 new values. You can always change the API, or maybe that's your API name. Like if you want to store those separately as identifiers, sometimes the values are super long and it's easier to just make it's like when we save it to the database, this is what we have to use. So we need the API names, but you can make the labels whatever you want. So you can put extra text in there.
I see, but basically when I import, I just create a list and I go to the next line, insert the next item, and then the system will assign the API name. And I understand, so far it will just copy it, but like, okay, sounds good.
Yep.
And where did you access all these fields? Like, if you go to the previous page, so where are you now? Like, you are in a specific security, and then you said your fields. you don't have to be in, like, you're in T100 security zone in Europe. You are.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not in.
Yeah,
any,
you could go to the list view. So if I'm on the list tab, so I'm listing, as long as you're on the object, this always shows up for the object that you're on.
I see. I see.
So if I'm on
okay.
portfolios, it should pop up the same thing. So portfolio fields pop up. And then you can add fields too eventually if you wanted to. But if you guys wanted some extra data, there's custom fields and relationships. You can just hit new and whatever field you want. But so it walks you through a wizard. It's not too bad. It's some basic stuff, labels. Yep, and then all the objects, if you hit the plus tab, so if there's anything that you didn't see in the top, I need to remove these so you guys can customize your own home page.
So we have lighting, so I think we have to do it ourselves. I mean, our Salesforce looks slightly different, so I think I need to indeed go and find them.
Yeah, and that's tricky too. There's actually, when you're in Lightning, it's different for where you edit fields. So if you switch to Classic, you can do what I just did, which you can switch back and forth. So I can switch to your Lightning interface, and you can get to the same spot, but it's not as easy. Like when you're on an object like opportunities, that sidebar thing does not pop up. So what you do, if you want the easiest way, just switch to Classic real quick. You can make your changes and then switch back to Lightning.
Okay.
Or if you want to get used to it, you open up Setup. I guess this will all be in the video too if you want to check it out later, but I think it's called Object Manager. So you go to Object Manager, and then here's all the objects that are in Salesforce. So you can search for T100, and here's all of our. Once you click on one of these, you'll be right back on the same screen. So issuer, and then here's all the fields, page layouts, all that stuff. So there's the fields, and then you can edit pick list values. I guess we don't have one here, but then it'd be the same thing. You can click on it and edit details. It's like an iframe in of Salesforce Classic, so it's kind of funny.
Okay, sounds great. I think I can try it. Yeah, it looks like
cool. All right, I think that's it. I'll just let me know if you get stuck on anything.
This was really helpful. Thank you, Jordan.
Yep, no problem. I'll send you the link here in a bit. I'll upload it to YouTube.
Sounds good.
All right, thanks guys.
You.
Thanks.
Have a nice week.
Hey.
We'll see ya.
You too. Goodbye.